Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Bridge Podcast. We've been away for a little while, but now we're back in full effect. Off of my little sabbatical I had because I had a little health issues, but we back to give you the people a little taste of the Bridge. How you doing tonight, my brother?
I am good to the good. I'm here with a big stick, and I'm ready to go. Glad to hear that the back action, didn't put you down for too long because I was like, well, damn, what did wifey do to you? Did she beat you up or something? Dog? Like, yo, you know, I know it's women's rule and all, but Lord have mercy, put my boy in traction.
Hey, it felt like that at sometimes,
But
not being able to move.
Hey, don't say that, 'cause she be feeding you, dog. She be rubbing your feet, dog. She be rubbing your back, dog.
I need all that. I need all that.
Exactly. So God bless those who have those that can care for them when they are down and needy. Yes, thank you, Lord.
I am blessed in that factor.
Most stiff. It's all good, man. It's all good. So what's happening? What's happening, man? What's going on around Florida, around the world, around these
Well, we gonna
United States?
we gonna jump into it light before we get heavy with it,
Oh
and we're gonna
Lord.
talk about the start of the NFL season and
Okay.
who
Okay. Okay.
we personally, me as a Cowboy fan, we started off with a little low, but we still have high standards now that we see Dak is back and he looks like he's in full mode already.
I was talking to some friends last night and I was saying I'm impressed that Dak is able to come back after breaking his ankle from last year. And I was like, give it up to medical technology. I'm sure he got a couple pins and screws and whatever he has, but to come back to play. And when I saw him during the HBO special that they had, I was like, well, damn. He hadn't missed a beat, missed a step.
The only other issue is we gotta keep him healthy, not let him take too many hits on that shoulder,
Yeah,
and we should be good.
yeah, most definitely. I didn't realize that this that the season kicked off last Thursday because I was like, oh wait, what? Tampa Bay played, the Dallas played, like, oh what? Yeah, shoot.
A nice
But
tight game too.
so I heard. But yeah, my favorite team. I'm always gonna be a Dolphins fan. Die hard. You know, with the bad, with the good. You know, one day I live to see them in the Super Bowl.
Hey,
Hopefully, make it to the Super Bowl. But any team that Tom Brady plays on, I'm rooting for that team to just be a wash, to just die.
I'm about to say you done switched on me because I know last year
Oh
I I,
no.
I was hitting you like your boy done pulled off another one.
Oh man, I just want him to die.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but we'll see. Sooner or later, the
Yeah,
car
right.
don't last forever.
I
The check
know,
engine
right?
light cut on sometimes.
Running around there like a spring chicken. How old is he now? 41, 42,
I think I believe 41.
41? Hey, you know what? I don't, from a, yeah, play. If you can play as long as and be effective, and you're not holding the team back. I wish that for all players that they could do that. You know, I just don't like Tom Brady. I just never will root for Tom Brady, but the fact that he's able to um, be this efficient at that age when most players have already retired. Yeah, sure. You
Well,
know.
I tell you who do look old. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I didn't see. Wow, really? He didn't look sharp, eh?
He didn't look sharp, and he looked like he ready for the retirement home.
Damn. How old is he? What, like 36?
37.
Wow.
And
Mm-mm.
hey, Tom looked younger than him.
Wow. Hey, when you got
Oh,
a
hey, oh my bad. Tom is 44.
44. Holy crud.
You sure that's right? You
Check
got
that again. For real?
yes.
Which Tom Brady is that? The actor Tom Brady? Because if so, he's been pulling off a scam. 44. Get the freak out of here.
44. Well, he said he could play the 46. So he
Born in
got 2 more years.
1977. Well,
God,
damn.
man.
Well, let's see how his 44-year-old, but long season out here. If I'm sure the offensive line will protect him good if they do that. Yeah. Last row. I don't think they're going back to the Super Bowl though.
We'll see. How it depends on how good the defense hold up. If the defense hold up good,
Yeah,
yeah, they'll be all right.
but as for the Dolphins, yes, what I wish for them is uh, for the last how many years now? I think for the last 10 years, to have a solid, stable, consistent offensive line. They did some plays, yes, Sunday that they were able to keep protect him. But I think throughout the course of the game, they as the game wears on, you know, you start to see the weaknesses, and that offensive line is still not being able to get shored up the way it needs to. You know, defense playing decent. It's good that they got that turnover towards the end of the game. Yes, but homeboy, I guess he's like, yeah, let me get this turnover right here, just to laugh in y'all's face. Y'all don't want to give him my money, Yeah, so y'all was gonna trade me. I was like, nah, yeah, yeah, you can trade me, but but this is what I want. So let's restructure your contract, man. You know, and here, so I think he's gonna have a really good season, again this year. Probably even a better season, I think, this year. As
Yeah,
long as as long as he stays healthy.
I like I was saying that Aaron looked old, but my boy Jameis looked like he's gone. He's got
Like
it
he ready
together.
now?
Like he's ready.
Well, okay. Yeah, it took him some revolutions. How many? This is what his third team,
No, this is second team.
second team,
Jameis only been with
Tampa
Tampa.
Bay.
Yeah, Tampa drafted him.
Okay, I thought this was
Tampa.
his third team. Okay, so Tampa. Okay, well,
Tampa.
I guess that you see enough of whatever that regime had under that with the team, but so did what's his face retire
Who? Oh,
quarterback.
yeah. He working for NBC.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
he
guess
working for NBC.
yeah.
He stepped down. He gave Jameis the reins. Jameis has proven that he can throw. He just has to keep the interceptions down.
Yeah, but yeah, he just has to make better decisions, on
Hmm.
the field. Yes, there was nothing wrong with his arm. Yeah, he has a very strong arm, as big as his ass is. Yeah, he just needed to make better decisions. And of course, just like every other quarterback, you get good solid protection from your O line and your receivers and tight ends can create separation from the defense. You can create all kind of damage back there. I mean, Obviously that's the ideal situation when you're playing the game, and I guess on the offensive side, you know.
Yeah.
Man, was he wearing a cane, you know?
Nah, he look older than, like
Oh
I said.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh damn, son.
And he's only 30. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, 40 not gonna look good at him. Oh
no
dear
sir.
Lord. What was he doing in the off season?
Hosting Jeopardy.
Oh, he did one of that 1 week spot.
Yeah, he did a 1 week spot on Jeopardy. I
Oh,
said that's why he came out looking like garbage.
well, it was too intellectual for him.
Nah, I'm saying because he doesn't really want to be in Green Bay no more, as he says,
Yeah.
and I agree with one thing that I'm not gonna say that he doesn't care. He just gave a lackluster performance
Hmm.
to come out the gate.
Okay. Well, shoot, he's there. Until that you either get traded or, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, play it. But yeah, we all know it's a business. I guess they understand it's a business too, but they don't control the strings. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, players can, yeah, I'm gonna hold out, but at the end of the day, you know, it's up to the boss people them upstairs. You know,
Hmm.
you could be good, but if they deem you not necessary, some gone. You know, I mean, every team you see, you have good players, but they just feel like they can create something better with somebody else all the time. Like
Yeah.
I think they're always looking, searching for that original high, whatever that is, based on the combination of players and coaches, and plays and policies and all that good stuff. The way they're structuring the teams these days, and so everything is very short term. Coaches are on a short leash. You know, that's why these agents, try to protect their the players, when they sign these contracts for them, because they know what can happen. Especially, heavens help you if you get hurt.
Mhm. Well, I'm trying to see. I'm gonna move on to the NBA and want to see what's gonna happen with Ben Simmons because
Who's he again? Which team he plays for?
the 76ers.
Oh, what was happening with him? They're looking to trade him or something.
Well, that was coming after the playoffs, the way he played, and then he officially came out and said he doesn't want to be with the team anymore.
Okay.
And I'm like, but your price tag is too high
Mm-hmm.
for them what the team is going to give up to get you.
to
Somebody
get
a
to
team
get you gone.
both no, yeah, but I'm saying on both ends, what a team is going to have to give up in value to from their team to get you over there.
Right. Right. Hmm. I guess
Because
everybody. Well.
you're gonna have to clear some. On most teams, you're gonna have to clear some salary cap room.
Right. Right.
So
Well.
for that's something that we got to look at.
How
You
much? How
know,
much he asking?
it's not what he asking; it's what he already has. He got an extension.
Oh.
He already got
Okay.
an extension. So let me see what he got right now. He got a 5 year deal, and it's 172 point. I mean, 177.2 million. So he's due 33 million this year.
Right. Wow.
So
Well.
as a team, that's a that's 33 million you got to bring on.
Right.
You got to move some people, some players. You're gonna have to cut some people. You know what I'm saying? You
And how
got
long he been with the team?
He got drafted by them, so
Okay.
this yeah and this is second year into that contract.
Oh, so he's
So
okay. So he's been with them about what? About 5 years?
I would just 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, because I would say
Mm-hmm.
you got to go 3 years before you can redo your rookie
Mm-hmm.
contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what that's 1 year less than NFL, I think.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
because
if it,
NBA you gonna know quicker than I think in the NFL if you garbage or not. And I'm not
yeah,
saying Eric that he's garbage because
right, right.
uh, yeah, most people he's better than the average person out there. So he's not garbage. He just got some things he needs to work on, and I feel like he doesn't feel like he has to work on this stuff, and
Uh,
that's his true problem.
oh, so he got that big contract, and now he got funny. He got funny in
Yeah,
the head,
nah, but it's like, man, you need a jumper. You
right?
need a jumper. You don't have a jumper.
And
Like,
he don't want to work on it.
and he don't want to work on it.
So,
He,
so if he don't, if he's not a a solid all round player, what's the incentive for another team to even consider wanting to make a trade for him or team? I mean, what's their incentive? I mean, if
and that's the biggest thing I would say, Irie. You don't teams don't see you trying to work on developing a jumper, and everybody knows you need a jumper.
right.
That's what he's missing, a jumper. Why would they want to trade for you?
Shit, and without a jumper, and you signed $172 million contract, he lucky,
Because people see the ceiling.
right?
That you're here, but you can be up here,
Right.
but you're not doing what you need to do to reach up here.
Yeah. So
And,
they gave him some financial incentive, but he was like,
no, because
I'm
he
good.
looked like he actually looked like he was working on it
Yeah.
at one time, but I think it's mental for him. The
Okay.
game got yeah, because in the playoff, what made him got to get out of Philly is in the playoff he passed up a shot where he was open under the basket, and everybody was like, "Did he just do that?
Oh wow.
Did he just pass up the shot? He was right up there under the basket." He,
See, I wish all players had the work. Like these two players, man. Three players. Let's go for one old school and two old school and one relatively new school. Kobe and Magic and LeBron in terms of their work ethic off the court. Off season, off the court, out. Definitely Kobe. The things that Kobe did to improve his game. That's why he was so good. It wasn't just about what coaches did. He had a personal vendetta against himself. When if he felt that there was something that he didn't do right, and he was on that court, on and off, having his teammates assist him, doing drills that he would come up with. If he got beat on the court, if he got out hustled or whatever the hell it was, he was back on the court, making himself better. LeBron developed a 3-point shot. LeBron developed, a better jumper. And he did that by working at it. You know,
yes,
and get better. And so he's pretty much an all round player. He worked on his defense. He worked on his body. He worked on his mind. You know, so I think players. I don't think most players take the fact that the NFL or the NBA or whatever sport they're playing is their job. They look at it as, I think, I don't know what they look at it as, but I don't think they see it as their job. You know,
and that's that,
um,
and I would say, Ari, that's the most oxymoronic statement that they can make because one of the reasons that you played the sport, besides the love of it, was one, to either be able to go to school and then from there be able to play in the pros.
Right.
And if you wanted to play in the pros, you wanted to play for money. So it is your job. And you
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna say every player doesn't take it seriously because I know some players that really take it seriously.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because you have some role players that really take it seriously, and
Mm-hmm.
they never get the light to show how hard they work at their game.
Right.
The team might know
Right.
it, but the public don't know it.
Right. Right. Because sometimes they may not just get to be seen on TV making a spectacular play. Whether it's whichever side of the ball you're on. Just But I think as they say, always be ready. You just never know when your number is
Mhm.
gonna come up. Man, remember, was it Drew Bledsoe? When Drew Bledsoe when Drew
Yeah,
got
it was
hurt?
Drew. When Drew went out,
Yeah,
he never
yep,
got back.
yep.
He got
And
back
Tom,
but it was with another team because Tom
and
came in
Tom came in and just like, oh, but he's a third. Forget it. Tom was drafted. What? Down? He was drafted down
in the last
in the
round.
rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last round.
and here come boom, and how many years? how, how many years later?
20. 20. It's
Right?
been 20 years.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, so it's just a matter of yeah, you got talent, but just be ready. And a lot of players go through a lot of difficulties. When I look at Stafford, you know,
Mm.
and to see that he's going to be playing, he's still playing at a high level for what is it, the Rams now.
Yep.
And everything that Stafford, all the talent he had, just never had the players around him, or always running up and down the damn field. Yes, he could throw, but here he is, in the Rams, and it's a good team, you know. Yeah, very good team, you know.
At the
From
most,
yeah, so
he only had two good players ever while he was there.
pretty
Megatron,
pretty much,
Megatron, and Megatron retired because I can do as much as I can right now. Now I don't see.
right.
I know for him to retire, then I don't think he saw it, the Lions going any further.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's kind of sad, right?
To be a top NFL wide receiver,
Yeah.
he went out while he was still on a top wide receiver.
Well, might as well shoot, you know. Uh,
And to answer your question, yeah, Tom is on year 21. He is on year 21 because he started with the Patriots in 2000.
okay.
Yep,
Okay.
2000 to 2019, and last year he was with Tampa, and this year is the 21st year.
Okay. God bless him, man. God bless him. But a lot of things that happen in players' world. We sometimes snark at it, because the monies are so huge. And so when we're in conversation, whether it's at the barbershop on here, just in general, and we just spitting out these numbers. Yeah, man, he got signed for 175 mil, 250 mil. It just, the numbers just seems like irrelevant. But they don't even seem big anymore. Every year, for every season, the numbers.
But the number I will always say, if they can play the player that much, how much is the owner making?
Yeah, 'cause every year they're even, 'cause, I mean, with COVID and the reduction in people going to stadiums, people weren't able to go to stadiums and this, that, and the other last year. I mean, there was still a draft. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people were still getting signed. Veteran players were still getting signed. tons of money. you know.
Hmm.
So
Even though
yeah.
the owner's crying, oh, we losing money. Hey, that's how I go in business. Sometimes you got to still pay the players.
Yeah, I mean, they're still getting paid. Paid a lot of money. They're not hurting. They still got 4 or 5 homes. They're still out there. During the summer on their yacht. Coaches have yachts.
Hmm.
Not just players. Coaches have yachts. And they're out there doing their thing. So the money ain't short. Like the new rap song came out here. There's a whole lot of money in this mall. So
Yeah.
and yeah, there is a lot of money around, and like there's tons of money. Doesn't matter, how you access it, but the media, you know, you know, waves, people, I mean, I don't even know how much it was for a 15-second or a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl this year, because it seems like every year it goes up.
Hmm.
And so with all that profit sharing that they're doing, amongst the team, from the media contracts and this, that, and the other, they're not hurting. They're not hurting like that. Yeah, but people with money always complain when you do something to stutter the flow of the funds. It's not saying that they're going to be broke or poor. They just don't like the fact that there's something that can, slow the flow of their finances. They don't want it to be consistent and steady all the time. And, so that's what they say. When you want, somebody with money, company with money, how you get them to listen to you, you hit them in the pockets, you know.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right. I'm gonna jump over here and we gonna start getting a little heavier right now. We gonna jump over to Cali in this recalled election. It's still going on right now.
Oh, Gavin Newsom, yeah.
Hmm. The poll showed that earlier today. It showed that he was ahead of this I don't even know what to call him.
The buffoon
Yeah.
elder.
Yeah. I think that's too nice.
Well, I can't really,
Yeah, but I'm just saying
necessarily, yeah,
we can say it without saying it. I think
yeah.
that's too nice.
Cause you listen to some of this, other candidates, but him, and I never really used to there was a time I think when I used to listen to podcasts and talk radio and stuff like that, and I listen, new people, but for me, just like even now, if I start listening to you and you in the first 2 minutes, you are already skewing. I'm gone. Because if I can't sit there and listen to you objectively for at least 5-10 minutes, but as I'm listening to you, I'm just like, what the hell are you? What is he saying? What this Reggie? I mean, this stuff is incredulous, man. The stuff that comes out of his mouth, the things
And,
that
and
he said he would vote for, he would cut off, the things that he would have never voted for back in the day, he would have never voted to sign the civil rights. I was like,
but but
so I
but
can't
but
understand that rhetoric for people who are benefiting from something that other people gave, literally gave their lives for. And now you're saying you wouldn't be a part of it, but you are benefiting wholeheartedly, 100% from all these things that people gave their lives for to help you. You
but
know.
I would say that on not on his behalf, but I'm saying if you don't believe that you benefited from it, you can you can see what you can say what's the use of it if you don't think you benefited, even though we know he benefited from it.
Hmm.
If he don't see that he benefited from it, he can sit up there and say what's the use for it.
Maybe he's not black. I don't know. Maybe he's not really. He's not kinfolk. He may look like us, but he definitely ain't kinfolk. That's for sure.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
That is true. That is true. But the thing about the whole that whole recall to me, until July, after July, when people were like, because July they were like neck and neck. It was a 50-50 thing back in July, and I think that it's part of what boggles my mind about politics in this country, and anything that's political, that most people don't seem to give a damn unless it's general elections. Okay. And for you to live in a state as large and vast as California and not have any clue that there is a recall on for your governor, or the governor, might not be your governor, but the governor, and you have no clue what's going on, you know. And you've seen it over the years. You go in, you see people getting interviewed. What's the name of so and so? They don't know. Do you know what's going on? No, I don't know. Do you know who the president is? Do you know who the vice president is? Do you know what they're talking about in Congress? What's that? Do you know how many branches of government there are? Oh, I don't know. Four, five? It's like, what the hell? So that
Shoot,
always
Ira.
that always
Shoot, Ira.
amuses
We
me.
can do better than that. Who is your local politician?
Okay, well, yeah. So obviously, so he would be, well. I guess he'd be, well, get local, yeah, because even when
Yeah,
he
but
would,
I'm saying people don't know who their local politicians are.
yeah,
Yeah,
that too, that right there, that part right there, yeah,
and
yeah,
that immediately affects them. And that's why I would say, like, hey, people, do y'all realize your governor sets more rules that affect you than the president can? The president don't really set any rules. Congress and the Senate do that.
right.
I mean, Congress and the House do that. So you got to know who affects you, and it comes from the local to the state are the two things you need to worry about even before worrying about a presidential election.
Exactly. So when so when we're here talking about, recall, recall, and people are not, so if you're not out there breaking it down to people for them to understand what's the nature of the recall. Well, first you got to establish why there was a recall and who instigated the recall. Okay.
Hmm.
um, and you understand that it was laced in all the aspects of Trumpism. And for the other side, there's like, well, shoot, you did this thing in COVID, so, and some other stuff. So you know what? Because we can in California, we're gonna recall you because they can. Not every state. I don't know how many other states have that law on their books, but California certainly does. They can do that at ad nauseum.
Hmm.
And they've done it before. They did it back in 2013, and the guy that I think it was the governor at the time, he took it for granted. He's like, I don't think he didn't take it seriously, and that's why he ended up losing to one of the reasons why he ended up losing to Arnold. you know but to understand why these things are important, the cascading effects of the choices that we make during local elections, and why those things are so important. Why is it important to have these local judges on the benches in the judiciary, in the appellate court? Why are those things important? People don't understand. When you look like how we look, those who you when you go up and you meet these individuals who are partisan in their thinking and ideology, you're already behind the eight ball, you know,
Hmm.
for your case. How is it that you think, you know, the school, and here we have, masking and this, that, and the other school board. Who are the people that are sitting on school boards? Why is it important from the governor's standpoint down when you're talking about school boards and the effects of in your state? I'm sure we're going to talk about homeboy down here too, but
Oh yeah.
those are the interesting and important aspects of the local, why we should know who our the people who are serving us locally, and what they do and why they do it, and why we should support them, you know because not everything that the people that we support, we are in agreement with, I'm sure. But if they're going to be making a concerted effort for the people, for the will of, not just the will of the people, but to be on the right side, on the right side of history, and do the things for the majority of the people, yeah, we should support them. When we should support people, I mean, and like you said, not every black person is going to be a good politician. um, but I think when it comes, at least if we are able to listen to the rhetoric, listen to what they have to say, and and I guess everybody deserves a chance, I would imagine. But you know, homeboy, the TFH, the former guy, he didn't deserve a chance at all, and that was just a mistake gone awry because of how the people, where the people, what where they put their trust, and that's what they saw. It became very political. They saw an avenue, um they want to get the Supreme Court nominees on the bench. They saw that, and here's this one guy say, "Yo, well, if I get the opportunity, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put conservative judges on the bench." And guess what? He put three.
Not only that, the appellate parts are going down in different branches of the judicial system. Before you even get to the Supreme Court, he appointed judges here and there to turn the tide of
Yeah,
what's
and
going
yeah,
on in the government.
yeah. His henchman McConnell was doing his bid, and well, I don't even know if it's his bid because that was McConnell's
Thing before that.
mantra. That was his
Yep.
platform. It's like,
Hmm.
this is what I'm going to do. We're going to stack the bench. We're going to put judges all over the court, all over the place. It's almost like Trojan horse is only that they're not doing anything in secret. They don't have to come out of the horse in the middle of the night. They walked in riding the Trojan horse. They're plain as day. Hey, we're here. You know, you know, and so ready to do the bidding when it's time.
Hmm. So now we're gonna roll over to um the devil of Florida, DeSantis,
The
because
widowmaker, the widowmaker.
yeah, because he's not doing anything. He's not doing it in the best interest of the people of
Dude,
the state of Florida.
all I gotta say is, bro, kids are dying. Kids
Hmm.
died last year. We had no vaccine. Everybody was walking around with masks. People were protecting their kids. They were out in the parks. Blah blah blah. Yes, they didn't have to go to school. Not everybody, but guess what? No kids died. No,
I'm gonna be the person that says it. Now, I'm not saying that you got to run out and get vaccinated,
hmm
but you got to wear your mask and take care of yourself
exactly.
when you're out in public and even when you're home, because you don't know who comes by your home, they and what they could be carrying.
Right. Yeah,
So
exactly. I think, and now, just to be uber, I guess, yeah, you definitely have to be uberly careful. What you're doing, where you're going. All that good stuff. But for the issues that are being put before us, for all these court cases now, lawyers are getting, being. It does seem like from 2016, lawyers have been super busy. The lawyers have been super busy since 2016.
mhm.
Okay. and 2021 hasn't changed that, especially here in Florida. And when I look at the reasoning, and it feels very tyrannical, on using the guise of we're trying to protect the people and the people's rights, and no, just so you can do something that would make you look good to your people
Hmm.
down the road. And I understand it, I get it. It's all politics and all that stuff, but at the expense, it's one thing, okay, people are just losing jobs, gas prices go up, which it is, whatever, but people are actually dying. And basically you're just really thumbing your nose at, and you're being a child, just like your dad, your uncle, or whoever, however he sees him, acting just like him, and you're digging your feet in the ground just to be stubborn, because you want to prove to everybody that you are this, you are the boss, you are the man, you know and you're running the state into the ground.
And then the man, if you was a man, you, you can stand up and say, "Hey, I was wrong on this." If
Nah.
if if you're not vaccinated, wear a damn mask.
Hmm. They can't even come out and say that
Yeah,
stuff.
wear
And
your wear.
that's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems. you
And
know
but I said too, when this first started, the mandate before they had the vaccination and the mandate for wearing the mask, I said to a couple of people, it's gonna be hard to get people to wear masks because this is America, and they if you do that, people are gonna feel like you're taking their right to choose away from them. Now you have a right to choose right now: get
yeah.
vaccinated or wear a damn mask. And if you vaccinated, still wear a damn mask
Hmm. but
because you
even
can.
but but even if you take away just the vaccine, yes, you still have a choice with mask.
Mhm.
You can, yeah, like you said, you can wear the mask and not thinking that it's the mask. Wearing the mask is because the people that are protesting the mask only see it as something that is not beneficial to them. They don't see what it means to other people. They don't see, and they don't really care or understand what the effects are to other people. Okay. um and so it's a selfish way to go about justifying your right to choose, you know because basically you're only saying, I'm basically choosing just for me. I'm not choosing for the other person. I'm just choosing for me. So be damned.
I'm gonna add something into this, and I'm gonna say this: the two states that at the forefront of wearing the mask, especially like the state of Texas, you feel like you don't have to wear a mask. It's your right. It's your choice. But you want to take a woman's right and choice away from them about if they could get an abortion or not.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's the oxymoronic statement. You don't want to give a person a choice on this end, but you feel you need to have the choice on this end. And I'm
Right.
like, you can't you you're saying I have a right not to wear a mask because it's my body, but it's a woman's right to get an abortion if she feels so because it's her body.
I mean, it's a woman's right, to her body, period.
Yes.
Whether it's abortion, but it's a woman's right to choose the thing that she, that she chooses to do with her body. You know, if she's married and she don't have no more kids, guess what? She don't have no more kids. You know, if she was single and say, "Hey, I ain't having no kids," period. Guess what? She ain't having no kids, period.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If she chooses not to be on birth control, that's her choice. If she chooses to be on birth control, that's her choice. You know, but this whole foolishness about trying to that was the most nonsensical thing that I ever heard. Trying to get rid of rapists by when you listen to that whole diatribe, you're just like, what is he saying, and why does he not understand how pregnancy and all this thing works for women?
Mhm.
Who did not sit down and educate him, in how all this thing works? And what usually goes on for most women. You know, there are people that probably walk around after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, just realizing that they're pregnant.
Mhm.
2 months, I've heard. Like, wow. I mean, the fact checker can correct me, because I'm sure it's not just in that within that 6 week time frame.
People
Um,
can go 3 months and not know that they're
and
pregnant.
not know that they're pregnant, because sometimes they say, oh well, yeah, I have inconsistent periods before,
Hmm.
so that must be it. You know, yeah, yeah, no morning sickness, no nothing. But the vile part of this law, 3 to 4 months. Well, shoot, there you go. But the vile part of this law is, and I just don't understand it. A woman gets raped by a rapist, or a rapist who's a family member, and becomes pregnant, and people say, well, you know I don't understand. To me, I don't understand how that could be God's will, um, to bring that child into this world. um that's just my belief. I just don't understand that. And I don't
And
understand,
I'm gonna complicate it even more, Ari. How many women that get raped that don't report the rape? You
a
know,
lot. you know
and you're gonna tell them they don't have the right to the abort that pregnancy.
mhm, mhm.
I said that's hypocritical in itself. You're gonna, and I will also say you don't have the right to abort this pregnancy. But what if she can't even afford to have the child? And you're gonna make, and they're gonna say, well, she can give it up for adoption on it. But then y'all don't want to support the child welfare system.
Well, I tell you what, they're gonna be on that bus, crossing country line into Mexico, because Mexico just said, hey, it's legal. you know, and yeah, it's gonna be legal. So they'll be taking buses going across Mexico. Coming up.
They're gonna sue the bus driver on the bus into Mexico.
Merrick Garland, thank God he's gotten off his ass to do some more stuff. But you know, there it is. The law is highly unconstitutional to begin with, if I'm not mistaken. And the fact that, so what I didn't understand is the law of the land is Roe v. Wade. That's the law of the land. So what people were saying is, how is it that you can circumvent the law of the land by replacing it with your law? You can't do that. So basically, yeah. That's not even, that shouldn't even be a thing. So if you allow this to happen, then more dominoes will fall, because now you can forget what the Civil Rights Act is now, because it's literally hanging on by a thread, unless Congress really does what they're supposed to do, and Joe Manchin gets off his ass and takes his head out of his ass, pretty much. But they can, down the line, circumvent a lot of laws on the books, by using this abortion law as a template, not just in Texas, but in other states. And here it is: Florida, Georgia are already looking to embrace it when the next session comes up. They're going to be talking about this and figuring out how they're going to implement, the same type of abortion laws in Texas. And so today it's abortion, tomorrow it's going to be civil rights, tomorrow it's going to be something else. And guess who most of that affects?
Us.
All of we,
Hmm.
right? And they keep saying, no, this is not racial, this is not, and but you're doing everything to undermine the ability of black people to progress in different ways. Yes, so
Well, when you know that's at the bottom line. That's what it is because they already started in Georgia with the steps they took for voting.
dude, they
Yeah.
didn't do the people didn't even say amen, amen in Georgia before they enacted those laws, bro.
Hmm.
That they didn't even take up the voting machine before they.
Yeah, because they was like, "Hey, hold up, we losing. We got to do something about this shit here." The
Man, them
I'm
voting
gonna
machines
say it
were
in
plugged
a
in,
polite.
man.
I'm gonna say it in a polite old school manner. These color folks are starting to come out to vote. We can't have this. If they keep coming out to vote, we're gonna lose the power we have.
Exactly, you know.
Hmm.
And so when people are sitting there and saying, "Oh well, it doesn't really matter. My vote don't count. It's all going to be the same," and and I get a little peeved, sometimes when I hear the rhetoric. Well, whether it's Democrat or Republican, it's all going to be the same. It's politics the same way. Blah 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 blah. But at the core thing, every individual,
Hold on,
the
Irie. Hold on.
every
Oh, back up because you froze a little bit. Repeat what you were saying.
we
You
good
still
now?
there? Yeah, you good now.
Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I was like, every individual. No, I was saying I was a little. I'm sometimes a little, peeved at the notion dem- Democratic reign, Republican reign. People say I'm not. If I vote, it don't really matter. And depending on whichever party is in power, it's all going to be the same. It's politics. This, 101, blah blah blah. But every individual has registered individual, or every individual has the ability to register themselves to be able to cast a vote, as long as you're eligible to do that. And when you cast the vote, you are saying to yourself and everybody else that you understand the ramification when you sit home and don't vote, because you are actively engaging in change, social change, political change, and you understand the consequences of elections. So if you continuously continue to stay out of it, stay out of the process, then even if affect any change, can all the time arguing with people who are out there casting votes, out there protesting, out there doing this, out there doing that, and you're not, in a sense, making any effort to help make any changes. So when the things start to affect you, vote. But it, and as you, there's a part of like destruction by dominating, the power. You know, they think their whole ethos is about benefit of the power. You know, be in power to to do and enact all the craziness that we've ever thought of. Um, Yeah, that's all it is. I see.
Well, we gonna we gonna we not gonna switch gears. We gonna go up a level in the government and go ahead and talk about Trumpy and his possible run in 2024 and how he's trying to somewhat change his rhetoric and his image for his new run.
What is he exactly changing? He ain't changing nothing.
What he's doing is not trying to change the way he says things. It's gonna be the same thing,
Don't be the same thing.
but the
He can't
way
control himself.
he it comes across, I would think, and then the way the but
All this
one of my big
time,
thing that go ahead.
no, so all this time, pre to politics to post politics, the person that we've known, and as Mr. Green said about that, we know where, and we love win. You know, when when you remember that statement,
Hmm.
he said we know exactly who they were. We everybody knows exactly who he is,
But
and
that's rhetoric. That's rhetoric to say that if you know if he get back in office, he's going to be out for vengeance. He,
yeah, and they're saying yes, they're saying it's going to be it'll be the vindictive tour.
mhm. And I also say, I think things weigh heavily on the state of Georgia because this fool has enough evidence against him just by the calls he made and the messages that he has left that shows he was trying to tamper with the election returns. You're saying you need to change the votes. You're
Hmm.
not saying you're not talking about any type of fraud. You're just saying y'all need to change the votes. You need to find me some votes somewhere. That's saying that you don't feel that there's a problem. You just need to fix it to where I can win.
Pretty much, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what is going on with that investigation. I'm assuming it's been conducted by the state so far, and I think maybe it becomes an issue where the DOJ will eventually step in into that.
But how
Um,
when he patted the court system?
well, that's no, I'm saying that the DOJ, not the courts. In terms of what what their arguments would be, because remember, so look, DOJ stepped in to sue Texas.
Hmm.
Not individuals, or the Department of Justice stepped in to sue them,
Yeah, I understand
and
that part,
so
but I'm saying, but for them to step in, it got to go through the court system somewhere. And I'm
yeah,
like,
somewhere I guess eventually the Supreme Court. I would
yeah, and
imagine
I'm like,
eventually.
and you patted the system.
Well, so if you are listening to verbiage that's been coming out of Supreme Court justices, especially the last one that got pushed through, whether it has any merits, when she's there saying that the Supreme Court, the bench, has to take pause to not look partisan to the American public, but it is partisan. You have six conservative judges against, was it
Hmm.
three, left, yeah, democratic leaning, our liberal judges.
And I would say that they're put in place because of their politics, not because of their standards or their morals. They're put in place because of politics.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is it's going to be interesting to because they do everybody does double speak. Everybody's speaking out both sides of their mouth and out of their asses. So it's not even double speak, triple, all kind of triple speak.
Triple talk.
Triple talk right now. It's triple talk right now. So people, she's coming out saying, not to be look partisan and it shouldn't, politics, or political ideologies. But wait a minute, they have very strong views against Roe v. Wade if we had to pick a subject, you know. Um, you know, Kavanaugh, Coney Barrett, they have very strong views against Roe v. Wade. Just Mr. Black Man up there, he has strong views against the civil rights. You he's probably Larry Elder's uncle. You know what I'm saying? you know, they probably relate. I think they look alike. You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be in some cases can't win for trying because the deck is already stacked. What do you do? What exactly do you do?
Well,
Elections have consequences.
yeah, but my biggest thing is like I was saying, it's going to be up to the state of Georgia, because if they can prove their case against him, I think that would make it where he cannot run for any office anymore.
And they had that choice. They had
Yeah,
and they because of politics
yes,
and the base, they're like, we are going to close our eyes, you know, and look the other way. Actually, they just closed their eyes altogether. They didn't even look. They just closed their eyes. There was no looking the other way. They just closed their eyes. We
they
don't
put their
want. We
hands
don't
in
want
their
to see.
pockets first.
Huh?
They put their hands in their pockets first, and then
Well,
close
yeah,
their
they
eyes.
made sure that they took care of themselves. They invested and took out all their monies. They got all that insider trading. And took care of themselves, or they continue as senators and representatives to invest. They have not divested themselves of the stock market and investment companies and company that they own.
Yeah. Well, and then
So
I,
they
I was,
they continue to make money hand over fist.
and then I think he's also been critical of the way that Biden has pulled out of Afghanistan, but he was gonna have to do the same thing.
See, I yes, is it yesterday morning? I'm listening to I think it was yesterday. I'm listening to the opening line of question, and and of course, the opening line of questioning came from one of Mr. Republican. And as you're listening to how they're framing the narrative, you are almost certain that everything started after January 20th. Okay, like literally, the application system, the way just like everything that they were dealing with started on January 20th. You know, and you're just like, wait a minute. So nobody else takes any account, is being held accountable here. you know they're talking, okay, it's unfair that these people that help the United States government, they need to be taken out. I agree, yes, but for 9 months prior to January 20th, not a single application was processed.
Hmm.
Nada, nunca, none. But you know yeah, it's
But
all.
you knew that happened because when he became a sore loser, and it was like ain't nothing happening in the government.
Yeah, yeah,
They
nothing was happening. Not a damn thing was happening. There wasn't a, it wasn't, you know, 'cause you know how, after election, nothing really happens per se, some lame duck session, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah. Here comes the inauguration. But there wasn't anything happening for at least a year and a half before that.
Hmm.
You know, there wasn't anything happening for a year and a half. Nobody was doing their jobs. Everybody was getting paid for doing nothing. The press secretary, Bridget, was getting paid to be press secretary and didn't hold a single press conference.
Conference.
Okay.
Hmm.
And she writes a book about being press secretary. I forget the name of the title, and it is, this thing is just so laughable and hysterical to me. That you were press secretary, you didn't do any press secretary stuff, but you come out and write a book about being press secretary. I
Hey,
was like,
she had the best hustle there is. That's
dude,
why she wrote the
dude,
book on how
that
to hustle America.
the last 4 years was about the hustle.
Yes.
If he comes out and just, fuck it, I'm not saying fuck it, I'm just gonna tell the truth, and writes a book, how I hustled America for 5 years, because it was really the first year before, dude, he would have all his debts, all his money problems solved. Trust me, he would have all his money problems solved. Because I think everybody was like, okay, wow, really? Oh, oh man, trust me, man. But that couldn't happen because poor little Baron, you know, would probably be left penniless. It's like, yo, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's really insane. No, if he declares that he's going to,
If the
but
people wondering why we laughing, it's because
yeah,
the fact checker is dropping
yeah.
comments in our private chat. He said, "Don't give him any ideas."
Cause it's true. That's true, man. But now if he declares, man, that'd be such an exhausting period. It's like no, because you know, just sucking, just every time you see an image or just is like the oxygen that is there just gets sucked out of the atmosphere. It just gets, you know, and it's like nobody else matters. It just comes in to suck out the oxygen. And I'd hate to see that happen.
but
I,
but
I'd, I'd
but
really hate to see that happen.
but that's the reality of that is he believes that nobody else matters.
Hmm. Right,
His opinion is the only one that counts, no matter how stupid it might be.
right.
His is the best opinion.
And the opinions of the people that love him. Yes. So, and they're in the division in this country lies. Even though people are now trying to tell me that it's not as divided as you think it is. It's very divided.
And
Hmm.
they're not people; they're sheeple.
Sheep minions. Whatever you want to call them. You know, yeah, that's where it is right now. That's where it is right now. And they can't even see the fog in front of them through the fog that's in front of them because their eyes are so blurred. They believe what they believe. I believe what I believe.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's one thing to listen to constructive arguments, you know, from someone that doesn't share the same viewpoint of you. But when it's loaded with just rhetorical, just the talking points that make no sense, misinformation, abusive, alternative facts, all that stuff. It's hard to sit there and listen, much less to have a conversation, with someone that vehemently disagrees with you. So for me, it's not just about, you know, Trumpism I can't deal with. I can deal with people who are Republicans, that have, yes, that have different viewpoints, and can sit down and you can constructively talk to them and somewhat listen to them and try to understand where they're coming from. Maybe they're trying to do the same thing too.
Mhm.
But some of this ideology and what's going on, like I said, here in Florida, with our mass, with our schools, with our politics, just our politics in general, it's just crazy. It's insane. So sometimes, if it wasn't for this, this platform, I really shut my mouth on social media these days. Um, you know, I don't really, say too much, if anything at all, and minimize my comments, to just a few things here and there, because yeah, it's important to have a voice and an opinion, but right now, you just pick your battles, um, or just pick the times that you want to, choose to say something quickly, because I realize it's not that, it's serious, but I can't really, waste the energy and the time, for people who are going to suck out oxygen out of my space.
Okay. Well, it's that time on the wall that says it all. Time to bring a close of this week podcast. It's good to be back. Good to see
Yeah,
you and
good to have you
conversate with
back,
you.
man. Shoot.
I want you to tell the people what you got coming up.
Oh yeah, we got some good. We got some good stuff. I didn't bring my book, but damn it, school. So,
Mhm.
so tomorrow is Wednesday, so we have MIA Soul on Facebook and YouTube Live. Starts at 7 o'clock. Myself and my co-hosts are on, and starting this Thursday, there's a new show under the platform, the MIA platform, and it includes myself, and it's called Flavor of South Florida, where I will be reviewing black owned restaurants here in South Florida. So that's Broward, maybe Miami, Palm Beaches. And installment will be this Thursday, 7 p.m. And my first guest and restaurant will be Chef, Judith Abel, and she runs Swirl Wine Bistro up there in, Coconut Creek. So that's where I'll be on Thursday. And yeah, and Ricky Smiley still on. I was just on there last week. Had a great time. Nice and quick and short and spicy. So I'm now on at least once a month. Pretty much I think every third Friday now. So we split time with three chefs, and so that's what I'm doing. Of course, I had a book. I can't really get up to go get the book right now, but Tasty Islands Culinary Adventure in the Caribbean Kitchen. Get it on Amazon. If you already have one and you want me to sign it, we can make arrangements to do so.
All right. That has been another episode of the Bridge Podcast. Peace.
Peace.